The lost science of compound interest. The most powerful force in the universe. Right now, in this moment, your life is forever changed if you but take the time to understand one thing: secure compound interest. I will teach you how it works, what enhances it, what kills it, and the true science of this remarkable power. Your whole life, you've been sold the compound counterfeit. Fool's gold. Something you thought was going to produce you wealth and freedom, just to arrive to retirement frustrated and confused. And with this knowledge, you, no matter the position in your life, can achieve millions of dollars in wealth. When you embrace the true science of compound interest, the result will be like nothing you've ever seen before, including unlimited wealth potential, eliminated risk from your money, accelerated returns through leverage, and increased retirement income at any age. Retirement takes 30 to 50 years in the traditional system, but through secure compound interest, we can do it in half that time. I'm going to show you all of this right now so you can make the decision. I'm Curtis Ray, and this is the lost science of compound interest. Good afternoon, everyone. Curtis Ray here. It is September 24th, 2020, around 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I want to thank you guys all for being here and participating in this event, talking about the discovery of compound interest and how you maximize in your life. So we're going to talk about some really cool things today. Feel free to take notes. We're going to have a lot of available resources to you and tools so that you can then build your best compound future. As you guys all know, I always say this saying, always be compounding. What does always be compounding mean? What is the power of compound interest? How do you use the power of compound interest in your life so that you can maximize your best opportunities? So right now, we're going to go through a bunch of stuff. I want to thank you for your time. This is very important. The moment you embrace and understand the power of compound interest, it'll completely change your life. You'll become a compounder. Compound interest is a lifestyle. When you do that, some really cool things are available. First thing I want to say is that follow me on social media. If you don't currently follow me on social media, please take the time to follow me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of the above. We are constantly putting out financial education, things that will change your life, help you understand how to navigate the very complex system of the financial world. Those are things that I'm always promoting. I'm always doing live events every Tuesday, Thursday. I do live events, and we have special announcements often. So please go to all those different various social media platforms and follow me. Also, during this presentation, you may have lots of questions. There may be things I say that you don't quite understand and you want to follow up with us. You can do a one-on-one appointment with us at any moment in time, no obligation, no cost to you. All you have to do is go to calendly.com/Suncor Financial. You can see that up on the screen right there, calendly.com/Suncor Financial. If you have any questions, you can email us directly at info@suncorfinancial.com. And if you want to play and build your own financial plan on our calculator, go to suncorfinancial.com, MPI Plan Design. We also have our website, suncorfinancial.com, and compound interest. So let's get started, guys. You guys saw the intro, the science of compound interest. How do you maximize compound interest in your life? And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to discover it. First, a lot of people ask, who is Curtis Ray? Where did I come from? Why am I everywhere on social media now talking about this phenomenon called compound interest? So I am the owner of Suncor Financial. That is my family right there, 5 children, married. Love them to death. We do this, I work so hard and help educate them so they have their best future. So a lot of people always say, well, Curtis, how can I provide more value to my children? Teach them about compound interest. Teach them about money. Something schools completely neglect is how you manage money. how you understand risk versus reward, how you understand compound interest and utilize it to your life. I am also the inventor of MPI, Maximum Premium Indexing, the most holistic retirement plan available, the secure compound interest account. We're going to talk a lot about that today. And I am the author, the best-selling author of 2 different books, The Lost Science of Compound Interest and Everyone Ends Up Poor. We're going to talk about this book today, The Lost Science of Compound Interest. It's very important. Things and knowledge that exist inside that book will completely change your life. And that's what this whole presentation is for you. This is for you to understand, ask questions. We're not doing live questions today, but you can follow up with us and ask any question you want. So I've been saying this recently, and it confuses a lot of people. A lot of people have heard the saying, never mix your investments with your insurance. What the saying should say is never mix your investments with your retirement plan. Why do I say that? Because investments and retirement planning are 2 completely different concepts. One is built on risk. One is built on going for the maximum amount of money, the biggest rate of return, going for the home run, your investments. Then there's your retirement plan, your security blanket. What is going to protect you when you're over the age of 60 and maybe you're too old to work, you're too tired to work? Those are 2 different concepts. So today we're going to break down something you've never heard before ever. Never mix your investments with your retirement plan. As if you do, you will end up on low income for the rest of your life. And I'm going to show you why, how the whole system is designed backwards. And if you build your retirement plan upon investments, you will inevitably end up in the category of downsizing. How many of you have ever heard the word downsizing when it comes to retirement? Don't worry, you'll downsize. Smaller house, smaller car, less vacations, less recreation. That is not how it works. If you want a good retirement plan, a plan built upon compounding, your retirement will truly be your golden years. But first we must understand it. Understand risk versus security. Understand returns versus compounding, as those 2 things are not synonymous. So right now we're going to talk about some stuff. And I love this quote here. Every now and then, a man's mind is stretched by a new idea or sensation and never shrinks back to its former dimensions. Once you know better, you do better. That is what we're trying to accomplish here, is stretch your mind to something that has never been known before. There is so much information, there's so much value, so much benefit in the world. But unfortunately, few people understand it. Few people know what it is. And that's why you're here today. That is why you're going to learn about how the power of compound interest works, how innovation provides opportunities. Don't be scared of innovation. Accept them and embrace them as opportunities to change your life, and embrace and stretch your mind to new ideas and sensations. And when you do that, like I said, you're going to turn into the lifestyle of compounding. And the lifestyle of compounding is like no other lifestyle. It is infinite growth, A to infinite, always progressing, always compounding. So why do I talk about compound interest so much? Because of that guy. I read something back in 2014 about Albert Einstein, and it completely opened my eyes that I was missing out on something so valuable in my life that no one had ever taught me before ever. How do you truly accomplish compound interest, and what is compound interest? Albert Einstein is credited for calling it the most powerful force in the universe, the 8th wonder of the world, but he added one tiny little caveat. He who understands it earns it. You have to understand what it is, why it is, how it functions, what protects it, what accelerates it, all of the above. And if you don't, you're going to get a counterfeit. You're going to get underwhelming results. Compound interest is one of the hardest concepts to understand because it is based on the theory of little tiny steps compounding on each other. You don't need a home run. You don't need special skill sets. You don't even need to make a lot of money. And compound interest can produce wealth for anyone, of any demographic, of any income level. It only takes the understanding of it. The greatest shortcoming of the human race is our inability of understanding how compound interest works. So today, in the next 45 minutes, we are going to break it down, every single step necessary, and they're all simple. There is nothing magic about it. It is simple steps, but a bunch of them, 5 or 6 simple steps that you do that start compounding on each other. And each step is available, and the opportunity of achieving compound interest is available to anyone. He who understands it earns it, or she who understands it earns it. So let's first talk about what is the power of compounding. As you can see in this graph right here, there is this thing about compound interest that everyone struggles with. Everyone, even myself. And that is slow, steady, and secure. These represent, we'll call them years of compounding. And what do you notice in the first 5 years? There's not very much that happens inside of it. You are building a foundation. You are building upon security first. And when you could do this, it is going to morph. It is going to evolve into something magnificent. But you have to be willing to wait for it. Patience and discipline is a requirement in order to get compound interest. Because in those first couple years, people start a compound interest account and they bail on it. Because look, you didn't make very much money in the first couple years. Financial advisors say, oh, you're missing out on the home runs of the stock market. You went and got a compound interest account when you should have got an investment account. The investment account can make money for you. The compound interest account is too slow. It does start off slow, but it's like a skyscraper. What do you have to do to build a skyscraper? You have to go out before you go up. Once you built the concrete pad, the rebar, the thicker you build the foundation, the faster and more powerful you can go up. And that is what compound interest is. Like I said, it requires no special skill set. It requires not a lot of money. It doesn't require anything from you but time and discipline and put a little money away. Because by the time you get to the 10th year, you've made more money inside of compound interest than all the money you've put in. By the time you get to the 20th year, you've potentially made 3 times more money doing absolutely nothing, required nothing from you than all the money you've put in. And by the 25th year, up to 5 times more growth, all by itself, by the power of compound interest, than all the money you put in by yourself. It is money making money, making money, making money. That is the power of compound interest. All it requires is a little bit of money and time. And anyone can give those 2 things. And when you give those 2 things, the phenomenon of compound interest is achieved. But what do you also notice about this graph? It never goes backwards. It never loses. That is why compound interest is not found in the stock market. It is not found in the real estate market. It is not found in any investment that has risk attached to it, where you can lose principal value. Compound interest is consistent and predictable results, consistent and predictable actions that are constantly moving forward. Can you put money away every month? Yes, you can. Can you protect that money? Yes, you can. Can it make you money? Yes, it can. And that is the phenomenon of compound interest. So let's talk a little bit more. So for the last 6 years, I've been writing my thesis on compound interest. I discovered it in 2014 by reading things about Albert Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, very smart people, people much smarter than me, that said compound interest is the be-all, end-all. It is the most powerful force in the universe, the greatest invention man's ever come up with, the greatest mathematical discovery of all time. He who understands it earns it. And I came to realize that very few people understand it. I've talked to financial advisors, CFPs, very experienced investors, and they would say things that were contrary to the science of compound interest. And I said, whoa, 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 that's not how compounding works. And so I end up compiling all the data, all the scientific proof of what compound interest actually is. And I wrote my 6-year thesis called The Lost Science of Compound Interest. It's my personal thesis. It wasn't published in a university or anything. It is a best-selling book. This book right here, The Lost Science of Compound Interest. Every single one of you who wants this gets it for free. I offered, anyone who's on this call can ask and request this book, and I will send you the PDF or the audio book of it. If you want to understand the true nature and true power of compound interest, reach out to us at info@suncorefinancial.com, and we're going to send this to you. If you've registered for the event, you're automatically going to receive it. Take the time immediately. Do not delay. I'm talking read it in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, or listen to it on the audiobook, because you will learn more about the philosophy of money, about personal finance, and how you achieve the retirement you've always dreamed of, found inside these 200 pages, than anything you've ever read or heard before in your whole life. Why? Because it's based on the pure science of compound interest, not emotions, pure mathematics. And the moment you understand how compound interest works, it will completely change your life. It's not how much do I have to put into it, it's how much can I put into it, because you're going to understand the phenomenon of compounding. You can also pick it on Amazon right here. It is in print, Kindle, and Audible. It's going to teach you how to first achieve compound interest, then protect compound interest, then grow compound interest, and ultimately how you accelerate compound interest. With those 4 things, anyone of any demographic can achieve wealth. Life-changing And as I said, it is the first philosophy of money based on the principle of always be compounding. I say it in every video, always be compounding, because the moment you understand what that actually means, it's life-changing. So let's go into the first thing I teach about compound interest, and it is called compound cycles. A compound cycle is the amount of time it takes for money to double. 1 to 2, 1,000 to 2,000, 100,000 to 200,000, 134 million to 268 million. Think about that. Each one of those cycles took roughly 7 years. Oops, not 7%, 7 years. So the amount of time it took from $1 to $2 was the same amount of time of $268 million to $536 million. And it's roughly around 7 years in a good compound interest system. So the more money you can put in, the sooner, the more compound interest you can earn. So if you put in $128 in 7 years, it'll be roughly $256. But if you could put in $4,000, it'll be $8,000. If you could put in $131,000, it'll be $262,000. And that is the power, the next cycle. Everything is about the next cycle, because that 262 will turn into 524, which will turn into 1 million, then 2 million, then 4 million, then 8 million, then 16 million. All in the exact same amount of time that one took to get to 16. So understanding how this phenomenon works and the amount of money you put in, how much time you put in, and then let it do its thing, get out of the way and let it do its thing, that is the power of a compound cycle. And the best part, no effort on your part. It didn't require anything from you, but put money in and let it do its business. Here's a quick example of a 30-year compounding. If you took $5,000 today, just today, and you put it into a good compound interest program, a good compound interest account, that $5,000 would be worth roughly $85,000 in 30 years from today. By itself, $5,000 turned into $85,000 all by itself. But what if you listened to me right now and you waited 1 year? You took your time, you slowed it down, and you just waited 1 year. The power of compounding is so fascinating later on. If you only had 29 years to compound rather than 30 because you waited 1 year, it'd only be worth around $77,000. An $8,000 loss, more than all the money you put in because you waited 1 year. What if you waited 5 years and you only gave it 25 years to compound? It'd only be worth around $57,000. If you waited 10 years, $35,000. If you waited 15 years, only around $21,000. A $64,000 loss because you waited 15 years. You wanted to get out of debt first. You wanted to pay off your house first. You did all the different things that financial influencers told you to do before starting a compound interest account. What really gets frustrating is when you go on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok and they say you're in your 20s, what's the very first thing you should do while you're in your 20s? And everyone always says, read books, go to conventions, go get a mentor, go live your life, do vacations, everything. Completely backwards. The very first thing you should do, the moment you get a job, start a compound interest account. Because as little as $5,000 would be $85,000 in 30 years from now, give or take. 37 years from now, that will turn into roughly $170,000, then $340,000, then $680,000, then $1.3 million, all done by itself. Let alone if you put in $5,000 every single year, or if you put in $10,000 in the first year, in 30 years it'd be $170,000. Double the money, double the results. Start a compound interest account should be your very first priority in anything. In this moment in time, whether you use the MPI system or not that we're going to discuss, start a compound interest account. Understand it and go get it. Because once time is lost, it is gone forever. That is the one asset you can never replace. You can replace a lot of things. You lose money, you can go make more money. You lose time, you can never get it back. So why does the stock market not compound? I made a claim that the stock market does not compound. Why? Does that look like a compound interest curve? It looks like ups and downs, growth and loss. The problem with growth and loss is every time there's a plummet that happens typically every 10 to 15 years, you lose time. Time is your most valuable asset inside of compound interest. So look at that right there. This is the Great Depression right here. When the Great Depression happened, People always said, oh, well, don't worry about it. You get to buy stocks low. You get to now regroup. You get to rebalance your portfolio. How many people have heard that? You get to rebalance your portfolio and buy low and get more shares. It doesn't work that way. They tell you it works that way, but doesn't work that way. Because the amount of money you lost did not rebound for 28 years. That is a loss of 4 compound cycles. Your money could have doubled 4 times. That means $10,000 could have been, or what you lost in growth potential, $20, $40, $80, $160,000 is what was lost because of the plummet. Then it grew, you had a little bit of growth right here, and then you got your butt kicked again. There was another plummet. And then it rebounded, you rebalanced your portfolio, you bought low, and now you're going to sell high, you have more shares. Another 25 years lost of time. 3.5 compound cycles. Then the great 90s happened. You made a bunch of money in the 90s. Then .com in 2008 kicked our butt. Then it's rebounded again. Lost another 2 cycles. 13 years. In the grand total of the last 90 years of the stock market, 65 of those years have been down markets or rebounding, getting your money back to where you started, and only around 25 years have actually been making true growth. Has anyone ever told you that or shared that with you? The stock market can make money. It is a really good investment till it's not. Until it's not is all about timing. Who can time the market? When you lose that time, you have very, very difficult time recovering. And when you do recover, you lost time. So why does time matter? Let's break down time. I was 18 years old in the year 2000, so I'm going to use the year 2000 as starting an S&P 500 index fund. Okay, I'm 18 years old, I start an S&P 500 index fund. Let's hypothetically say, just for numbers, this could be any number, that I had $100,000 in that account. I deposit 100 grand, I saved up, while I was working, I have 100 grand, I go deposit it. It crashed in the .com. Then it rebounded from 2003 to 2007. By 2007, I got my money back. Don't worry, you bought low, we're going to sell high, you rebalanced your portfolio, your money is back, we're good to go. Then 2008 happened again. We got crushed up to 40%. Then by 2012, I got all my money back. So I lost 12 years of compounding because I was in the stock market. What if you would have been in a secure compound interest account? What would that have looked like? 100,000. Slow and steady. 200,000 by the year 2007. By the year 2012, up to 325,000. $125,000 loss because you wanted to go for no risk, no reward. Stock market, great home run potential, right? When slow, steady, and secure was always the answer. Always be compounding was always the answer. It looks like a $325,000 mistake, right? It's not a $325,000 mistake because it's always about the next compound cycle. Let's look at the decision you made in 2000. How much influence does it actually have on your future? This is going to blow your mind. So let's just say both of them start doubling every 7 years. We decide to get out of risk and we're going to go actually start compounding our money. $100,000 in 2012. It will double every 7 years, give or take. 200,000, 400,000, 800,000, 1.6 million, 3.2 million. If someone told you on your 18th birthday that if you put away $100,000, it could be worth up to $3.2 million by the time you hit retirement age. That sounds really good, right? It's really good. But what was the true potential of your money? Always be compounding. What was that potential? 325 doubles to 650, 1.3, 2.6, 5.2, 10.4. A $7.2 million difference because of a decision you made to be inside of an investment plan rather than in a compound plan. That is the power of compounding. It's always about the next compound cycle. So the stock market is a compound counterfeit. You feel like you're compounding till you're not. You lose, then you rebound. And that is the flaw to the traditional financial planning, is that It was never built to compound. It was built to be exciting. It was built to have home run potential. Time is the most powerful influence to compound interest. And as the one component that one is lost, it can never be, you can never get it back. You can never get it back, guys. And that is why the power of compounding, why I call my book The Lost Science of Compound Interest, because it is the one asset and the one component that few people talk about. They always neglect it. They say, no, you have time to rebound. Who has heard the saying, you have time to rebound? You're young, you can always rebound. The market will always rebound. That is the worst advice inside of a retirement plan or a compound plan that anyone could ever give you ever. You don't have time. Because every day that you lose in a compound interest account is potentially worth millions of dollars to your future self. And that is how you build a retirement plan. But everything I just showed you is not the bad part. That's the average part. I just showed you that you could lose up to $7.2 million by a decision you made 20 years ago and then move it fast forward. This is the true unfortunate situation, the disservice of trying to build an investment plan as your retirement plan. Remember when I said never mix your investments with your retirement plan? This is why. They were designed backwards. They were never designed to produce retirement income. They were designed to sprint, run, jog, walk, meaning to get you really excited. You're making a bunch of money in the beginning. Let's call it 10% rate of return. You're totally kicking butt. You're filling your plan. You're right where you need to be. Your investment plan is making you 10%. Then something terrible happens around 50 years old. You got to start getting more secure. You got to start thinking about retirement income because you were never thinking about retirement income in the beginning. You were thinking about rate of return. What's my most money I can make? It was never based on my retirement income. You start to slow down. You start to convert some of your stocks into more conservative things such as bonds typically. And your rate of return goes from 10% to 8% to 6% to on average around 4%. There is this study called the Trinity Study. And they came out with a scientific research that says when you get to retirement, you should safely withdraw only around 4% retirement income. If you take 4% from your account value, you built this nest egg, and if you take 4% from it, it should last at least 30 years. So if you retire at 60 and you live till 90 years old, you shouldn't run out of money. The 3 phases of retirement planning: accumulation, tapering off, slowing down, getting more secure, and ultimately distribute, was backwards. It was always backwards. It was never designed as a retirement plan. Never mix your investments with your retirement plan because the investments inevitably have to slow down to protect you because you're not working in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and you can't take a 2008 hit. So you have to convert. And in that moment of converting, the 4% rule was born. What does it actually mean? If you had $1 million, the elusive $1 million portfolio that Dave Ramsey talks about, Susie Orman talks about, Chris Hogan talks about, the millionaire 401k holder, only produces realistically and safely a retirement income of around $40,000 a year and then taxed inside of a 401k or IRA. Think about that. You're a millionaire inside of the 401k and you're barely living above poverty. Why? Because it was never a retirement plan. It was promoted to produce taxable revenue or tax revenue for the government and various other things. It was never designed to produce retirement income. Did you know that? Have you ever heard of the 4% rule? Did you know that you can build up to $1 million in your 401k and it's going to produce around $35,000 of after-tax retirement income? Most people have never heard that before. Financial advisors and CFP rarely talk about it. Why? Because they don't have a solution for it. But there is a solution. The solution is called compound interest. It is called slow, steady, and secure. Build the foundation and let money make money on money. And that is how we ultimately produce it. The 401k and IRA produce underwhelming results because they were designed backwards from the beginning. So let's talk about this compound interest thing. You guys have to, at this point in time, so Curtis, now tell us what compound interest is. How do we get it? How do we achieve it? You're telling me that everything I've ever been taught ever was backwards. So how do we get it? He who understands it earns it. In the next 15 minutes, you're going to have the base. You're going to build the foundation, the knowledge in your life on how you actually build a secure compound interest account. But remember, it's not easy to grasp. Things I'm about to tell you are going to sound backwards. They're going to sound reverse of what you've been taught. But remember, once your mind is stretched to a new idea or sensation, it can never go back. You'll never look at money again for the rest the same. You'll never look at it the same for the rest of your life because you're going to learn something today that no one's ever taught you. And it is called Always Be Compounding, the rules and philosophies of actually achieving compound interest. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. There are no home runs. There is no awesome rate of return. I'm going to crush my investments. This is slow, steady, and secure. Build on compounding. Remember, compounding is a bunch of little decisions, predictable, consistent results over and over and over, and they start building on each other to create the snowball effect. If anyone knows anything about a snowball, as you push it, it exponentially gets bigger. That's what we're trying to do here. The first rule of money is protect or pay yourself first. The first rule of wealth, pay yourself first. Start immediately, protect your money, compound your money, and then accelerate the compound interest. Those are the 5 components. There is nothing else you need to know. It is the be-all, end-all of how money and personal finance works. If you can accomplish those 5 things, inevitably, every single person who does those 5 things and gives it enough time will produce wealth in their life. Even if you're making $30,000 a year. I know a lot of you are starting off, you're in base employment. Maybe you're at minimum wage, and you truly believe in your heart there will never be a scenario where you have millions of dollars. And I'm here to tell you right now, always be compounding. You will achieve this if you follow these 5 rules of wealth. Pay yourself first. Start right now. Immediately today, start a compound account. Start the snowball. The snowballs are awesome inside of compound interest because once you push it, it's like going down a mountain. It goes by itself. Requires nothing from you. It just goes. So let's talk about these 5 rules of wealth. The first one is pay yourself first. Why is pay yourself first so important? It is the first rule of compounding. It is the most important rule of wealth because if you don't have something in compounding, 0 doubled 1,000,000 times is still 0. We need something in it. We always suggest around 10% of your income. If you can't afford 10% because you need to rework your budget, start off with 5%. Start off with something, anything. Today, someone literally went on my TikTok and said, I am super, super poor, but I can do $100 a month. Is it worth starting? I said, yes. Start right now. You're 18 years old, start right now. That will produce millions of dollars for you if you can find a secure compound interest account. So pay yourself first is taking part of your money first, not last. We've been trained to make money, go pay our liabilities, and then whatever's left over save. That is why everyone ends up poor. That is why very few people achieve wealth, is because you always spend what you have. So if you're making $50,000 a year, if you take $5,000 of it and set aside for your compound interest account, and then $45,000, tell yourself that you only make $45,000 a year. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to be fine. Everything works out. Everything always works out. Pay yourself first, first rule of wealth. As I said, power of time. Time produces wealth for anyone. If you give it enough time, it will produce you wealth. So you got to give it time. Do not delay. Read my book, ask questions, set up the one-on-one, do all those things you need to do, but make it a priority right now because starting right now will be the most influential decision you can possibly make because time produces wealth for anyone in any situation if you get a secure compound interest account. Protect your money. You cannot be in a situation that goes backwards. I showed you the 2 graphs. I showed you the stock market. That is this. Up, down, growth and loss. Then I showed you what a real secure compound interest account is. That is slow and steady. Build, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on. It creates the curve. That is what we're trying to produce. And it is impossible to produce it inside of something that is not secure. Protect your money is the 3rd rule of compounding. Security is the cornerstone. Compound your money. We got to grow the money. You got to be in something that grows faster than inflation. A lot of people say, well, hey, my bank account is secure. CDs are secure. Annuities are secure, except for they typically grow slower than inflation. So you're actually losing money. Few people have ever told you that. Money inside your bank account, you're actually losing value being inside of a bank account. So you got to grow faster than inflation, which is typically between 2 and 3%. So if you're not growing faster than 2 or 3%, you're losing money. So you got to have your money compounding faster than 2 to 3%. And that is the eighth one of the world. It will start producing that exponential growth curve. And lastly, compound acceleration, secure leverage, using other assets. There is so much resources available to you, even if you're poor. A lot of people think that in order to go get leverage or in order to go get other assets available to you to accelerate your compound interest, you have to have high net worth, you have to have good credit, you have to have all the things that you're told that only rich people get to take advantage of. Rich people are rich because they know the rules of the game. They protect their money, they grow their money, and then they go leverage it to accelerate their growth potential. But guess what? Secure leverage is available to everyone. You just got to know the rules of the game. So after my 6-year thesis, like I said, I wrote this book, 6-year thesis. I say, here's how you accomplish all 5 of them, because they did not exist. All 5 of those things, the purest form of compound interest that Einstein called the eighth one of the world, did not exist. We had to make it. It started off pretty good in 1999. Someone created a system that was really close, but it had a flaw. It didn't have the last component of compound acceleration. It was somewhere you could put money today that was protected and compounded, but it lacked the last one. In 2014, we launched something pretty magnificent. Remember, there are only 2 essentials to wealth, and this is what we're going to talk about right now. Protect your money, compound your money. If you can do those 2 things, everything else is secondary. And so how do we accomplish those 2 things in every aspect and accelerate it? And it is called maximum premium indexing. It is the first and only strategy ever built to achieve, protect, grow, and accelerate compound interest. And how do we do it? We know there are 5 components to compound interest. Pay yourself first. That's on you. You have to do that. No one can force you to pay yourself first. Start immediately and commit to it. That is also on you. No one can force you to do that. Then there are 3 more components: protect, grow, accelerate. There are 3 components inside of financial planning that can do those 3 things individually. Life insurance protects money. Inside of life insurance, you have a contractual guarantee to never lose. Stock market, as we said, grows and loses money. So what if you could be in the stock market inside of a life insurance contract? You can now protect your money and grow your money simultaneously. You've now accomplished 2 of the 3 last components of compound interest. What if you could leverage on top of that? You can get additional resources available to you to accelerate your compound interest. You take this leverage and you put it inside the life insurance that is also inside the stock market. Now you have increased and accelerated and enhanced the amount of compound interest you can earn. That is what MPI is, maximum premium indexing, the first and only life insurance contract that is built inside of a stock market arm that has growth potential above the stock market through a special feature called the RELOC, Retirement Equity Line of Credit, additional money available to you to accelerate your compound interest. So why life insurance? Why am I a life insurance guy? Everyone loves to say, oh, you're just a life insurance guy. Heck, yes, I am a life insurance guy. Why? Because it's considered the safest asset class in the whole world. Protecting your money is one of the most important things inside of compound interest. Why? It's not so much about the money, it's about the time. Protecting your time. You only have so much time in your lifespan. Protecting the amount of effort you've put into your time and then moving forward is the most important thing you can do, is protect time. So life insurance contract is one of the only assets that can guarantee you not to lose time. There are FDIC insured bank accounts, FDIC insured CDs. That's how secure life insurance based investments are. Think about that. Your money can be somewhere that is compounding, that is also as secure as an FDIC insured bank account, at least according to the CFP exam required education course of 2018. So that is why we put our money inside of a life insurance contract. But we also compound it inside the stock market, inside of something called the S&P 500 indexed call option. In the last 15 years, that's what it looks like. We never lose. 2008, when everyone else lost up to negative 40% and then lost the next 5 years of their time trying to rebound, we're slow and steady, singles and doubles over and over and over. Some years we made 3%, some years we made up to 11%. Right now the cap is 10%, but it's somewhere between 10 and 15% is what we make inside of our compound interest account with a guaranteed secure floor of 0%. That has historically made us around 7% interest. You have guaranteed security not to lose principal value inside your account and growth potential of around 7%. That sounds pretty good, right? That is the fourth component. That is compound interest. Now let's fix it. Let's finish it. The triple advantage of MPI: protect, grow, accelerate. We did a life insurance contract that guaranteed our money secure, our account value secure. Then we put inside a very aggressive form of trading inside the stock market that makes us pretty good money. Now let's talk about the feature that sets MPI apart from every other feature available. This feature does not exist inside of any other retirement plan that I am aware of. It is called the MPI Match Program, the RELOC, Retirement Equity Line of Credit. Most everyone knows what a HELOC is. Home equity line of credit. What is a HELOC? You have equity built up in your house. You can use that money to go invest in. You can go use that money to remodel your house, pay off debt, various things. You have access to additional money above and beyond what you make, and you can go do other things for it. And it's typically on a really low interest rate of 4 to 5%. MPI has a RELOC, a retirement equity line of credit. You have money inside your account. That money is so powerful. It is protected. It is compounding for you. Your money goes in. It has a guaranteed 0% floor with a cap of around 10%, 10 to 15% historically. That money has made us around 7%, which is good. This is where the magic starts. At the beginning of the third year, you qualify for the MPI Match Program. Additional money available to you through this RELOC feature. That money, we're going to take that money. We're going to exercise this amazing feature, the feature of all features, and we're going to put it right back in the secure life insurance contract. 0% floor with a 10 to 15% cap. Historically, that has made us around 7% interest, even with .com in 2008 and Great Depression, all those other things. We're going to make around 7% interest. The RELOC costs 4% interest right now. So what did we just earn on someone else's money? Around 3%. You take your 7% secure compound interest that we typically earn on average, and we add 3% interest to that on average. Now we're producing double-digit returns inside the security of a life insurance contract, even after the cost of insurance, even after the cost of setting it up. Double digits, up to 15% as this thing matures with time, all built inside of a cash value life insurance plan. There is no other contract that can do that I am aware of. And why MPI is built on the true nature of compound interest. When you start growing your money to up to 15%, this is what it looks like. As I said, never mix your investments with your retirement plan. An investment can make lots of money in the beginning. It can beat us in the beginning. It actually looks better than MPI in the first 5 to 10 years. I don't hide from that because we're building our foundation, slow and steady, predictable results. And as they slow down, we speed up through the RELOC feature, that additional 3% interest on average. And our slow and steady jog out of the gate turns into a run and ultimately turns into a sprint at the end. Retirement is not how you start the race, but how you finish the race. And look how we finish the race. They are walking. A 401k and IRA is walking at around 4%. That is your income. MPI can be up to 15% as your income. One was built on accumulation. Both accumulate money in the beginning. But MPI, this is where we go the different direction. This is where we fix the problem of the 401k and IRA. We accelerate. Phase 2, not taper off, but acceleration, so that our distributions are sprinting, not walking. Risk versus security. Tapering off versus acceleration, low versus high distributions. Distributions is synonymous with retirement income. Which one do you want? Slow, steady, and secure, built on the rate of compounding, or risky, slow down, built on what is my rate of return? And this is the end result. There's a lot of information on this graphic. All of this is going to be available to you, so don't freak out if you couldn't follow it. If you can go back and research this. But this is the difference. When you accumulate, accelerate, and distribute, slow and steady, accelerate, produces a $1 million nest egg, can produce $120,000 up to $120,000 of income or more. A 401k and IRA, accumulate, taper off, distribute of around 4%. That elusive $1 million portfolio, around $40,000. Would you like up to $120,000, $150,000 of retirement income, or up to $40,000 and then get taxed? That's obviously a rhetorical question, but understanding the phenomenon of compound interest is the only way to do that. How do you protect, grow, and accelerate the power of compound interest? MPI is the first retirement strategy to achieve, protect, grow, and accelerate the full power of compound interest. Taking every advantage available to you through the RELOC system, through the life insurance contract, through the call option strategy, merging all of them into one. And that is how you accelerate your compound interest potential and produce up to 15% retirement income on the full potential of your money. Your money is not easy to make all the time, and it is even easier to lose money. Retirement is about not how much you make, but how much you keep. How much can you pay yourself first? How much time can you give it? And how much compound interest can we allow it to grow? In short, MPI is a secure compound interest account. I want to invite you guys, and there's going to be a thing that comes up in a bit. I'm not going to show it right now, but comes up in a bit on how you set up a one-on-one consultation. No obligation, no cost. We're not going to hound you. We're not going to try to sell you anything. We want to educate you first, because when you understand how compound interest works and how powerful it is. Oh, what just happened? Okay, sorry, technical difficulties. How do I remove that? I gotta shut this off, Manny. It popped up on my screen. Okay, I'm gonna close it out and you're gonna have to restart it. I don't know how to delete all this. Sorry guys, this is live and we're trying to bring something in and something technical difficulties. Close that out. I'm just gonna move it down here, okay. Sorry about that, guys. So let me finish here. I've got 5 more minutes, and then I got a special event that's going to happen after this. But MPI Secure Compound Interest Account. Do a one-on-one with us. Go on the website, research this, read the book, guys. There are 10 features and benefits that you're going to go over. What permanent life insurance is, why it is the #1 most important asset you can possibly own in your life. I know a lot of people say differently than that. What are living benefits? How do we accomplish the absolute lowest expenses possible, even lower lifetime expenses than a low-cost indexed fund? How do you get the best tax advantages for tax-free retirement income? How do we protect our money legally from lawsuits, creditors, and liens? Age distribution. MPI has no access penalty, so you can retire at the age you want, not 59.5 like everyone else says. No access penalty. The 0% floor protection, the life insurance contract, how we grow our money, and the MPI match acceleration. When you do all these things, increased retirement income. It's not about the money. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys freedom. And what you do with freedom produces happiness. So my goal and compound interest's goal and what it's always trying to do for you is produce freedom in your life. So ultimately, you're going to get a full financial plan. When you meet up with us on one-on-one, you're getting a full financial plan prepared for you by an MPI certified specialist. You can take it. It's free of charge. You can research it. There's no cost to it. We're going to build it for you so that you at least have the education, because education is the key here. Knowledge is power. And the more knowledge you can have about compound interest, the better it's going to work for you and the more better decisions you can make for your future self. Retirement is doing what you want, when you want, and with whom you want. Achieving freedom. Always be compounding is what we're trying to achieve here, guys. Always be compounding, meaning taking every opportunity possible for you, every single resource available to you, and maximize your ability to produce compound interest. When you go make financial decisions in the future, you can think to yourself, is my money compounding or not? That's an easy thing. People go, well, Curtis, you always have the answer for everything, because I can literally just put it to the test. Is my money compounding or not? And so Suncor Financial, always be compounding. That whole philosophy is take every opportunity, take this most powerful force in the universe, every single thing, the most powerful force in the universe, eighth wonder of the world, man's greatest invention, and apply it to your life. If you currently do not have a secure compound interest in your account in your life right now, you are missing out. You're underperforming. You're missing out on this powerful force to bring you freedom and happiness like you've never seen before. So I want to end here, guys, that I believe in this. This is what I believe in. This is where I put all my money. This is what I believe in because it's protected. It is growing. It is accelerating my future. It is what my family believes in. It is what my kids have secure compound interest accounts. And when you take the time to understand how compound interest works, it's not a have to, it's a get to. And in that moment, your mind is stretched and you'll never look at money again for the same for the rest of your life. So I want to invite you one last time, schedule a one-on-one. Calendly.com/Suncor Financial. Email us at info@suncorfinancial.com. Go to the calculator and play around with it on Suncor Financial /MPI plan design, or visit our website, suncorfinancial.com, compoundinterest.com. It will be the best decision of your life. Right now, guys, we're going to end here. Always be compounding. Now we have a very special event. We have someone from a very important nonprofit that's going to talk to us about something I believe in, child trafficking, human trafficking, and what they're doing to help stop it. So I've got to now open it up real quick, and we're going to talk to someone who believes this is their mission to save children. And when it's their mission to save children, Link is in Slack. Okay, let me open this up real quick. Slack. I'm going to open up a link, and we're going to talk to someone who's totally killing it right now, helping so many people. And let me open up the Zoom call. Always be protecting is another thing I say, always be learning. So what we're going to learn right now, and this special guest right now is going to, it says you are unable to rejoin the meeting because you were previously removed by the host. Sorry, this is the first time we've done this, and so we're having a little technical difficulty. I'm going to talk for a little bit longer while they fix it out. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. the same time, I go live question and answer. So next Tuesday and Thursday, you can come on after you've researched it, you read the book, and you want to ask me questions live, I will answer them. And so it's very important that we want to provide the education and knowledge and all the different things that's available to you. We want you to understand it. He who understands it earns it. She who understands it earns it will be life-changing. And so we're always constantly providing new stuff. Why you need to follow me on social media, because I'm putting videos on there. All the content, all the Q&A, all the financial planning, all the retirement planning is always available to you. No obligation, no cost to you. And in the moment that you're ready to move forward, and it's a decision you've made, because you give a man a fish, you feed him. You teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that's what we're trying to accomplish here, is stretch your mind, learn something. I have all these financial advisors and CFPs that come on all the time that say, well, Curtis, you're assuming people are going to be disciplined. You're assuming people are going to save money. Yes, I'm assuming that. The only reason they're not doing it now because they have not been given the opportunity to understand how it works. They have not been given the tools and education and resources to build a secure compound interest account and go all in on it. So that is my passion, to provide the education available. It is all available to you. And so that's why we do the live events every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of the above. We're everywhere. Please share this with your friends and family. This knowledge is available to everyone. It's not a hidden secret. There's not like get in now, only a few people can get in. The power of compounding is available to everyone in the world. Have we found a way to fix that yet? Okay, let me try again. This new link you just sent? Yeah. Okay. Join with video. Okay. So we're waiting for our special guest right now. Okay. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to read her bio right now while we wait for her. Hey, Xander, real quick, can they hear me? Yes. Okay. So we're going to talk right now to Carly Yost. I hope I said that right, Yost or Yost, CEO and founder of and board of directors. Carly work is nationally recognized for her global fight against child exploitation. After her father's passing, Carly felt driven with purpose to carry out his legacy of protecting children. Powered by technology that was developed at by her family's company, she founded Child Rescue Coalition. Child Rescue Coalition is a nonprofit organization that rescues children from sexual abuse by building technology for law enforcement, free of charge, to track, arrest, and prosecute children predators. Since founding the nonprofit, the technology is now being used by officers in 96 counties and has led to the arrest of over 12,000 child predators. So this is awesome, guys. I believe I have 5 children, so there are very few things in life that I care about more than my children. And this whole thing that's going on with human trafficking and children trafficking is the worst offense I can possibly think of in the whole world. There's nothing worse I can think of the whole world. So every time I come across an organization that is doing something awesome, if you ever see someone doing something awesome, stand up and talk about them. Share their message, help them get their message out there, because the world needs more good. Embrace all good, share all good, always be embracing anything that's good. So have we found Carly? Is she available yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So it's right at 5 o'clock, so we're going to hope for Carly. And now that I have a little extra time, I wanted to end right at 4:55 so that we'd have time to do this and be done by 5, but we are waiting for her participation. She's coming on, trying to log on right now. But until then, I will talk a little bit more. So I'm going to go a little bit more. You guys can stay on and listen if you want. I hope you stay on. I'm just freestyling now, so it's just going to be what I want to talk about, and that is the philosophy of never mix your investments with your retirement plan. I said that 3 or 4 times during this presentation, and that is something I believe in. You've been sold that your investment plan is your retirement plan, that your business is your retirement plan. No, your business is your investment. We do investments to make money to design and build a compound interest account. So your investments, when they make profit, we go then and build a retirement account with it. We need investments. Everyone's all, oh, here we are. Okay, I'm going to finish it real quick. Always be compounding. Carly, thank you for joining us. I've already given an intro on you. I read your bio. And so I'm going to start off real quick. Go ahead and tell the audience of what you believe in, what is your mission, how important is to it, and it is your floor now.
Yeah, thank you for having me today and highlighting the work of Child Rescue Coalition and the work that we're doing to fight sexual abuse of children. So we are a nonprofit organization that provides technology that we give free of charge to law enforcement that identifies child predators. So we're actually able to track people all around the globe. We have officers in 96 countries around the world, and they're using our technology that we provide them free of charge to identify people who are trading illegal content, so child sexual abuse material. And we're able to lead to the identity of these predators and lead law enforcement to actually rescue children that are actively being harmed and endangered. And to date, we've assisted over 12,000 arrests of child predators directly, leading to their arrest, and the rescue of over 2,600 children.
That is so amazing, so phenomenal. I need to apologize. The script I got said 96 counties. That is 96 countries. I was like,
Yeah.
counties, that's a weird thing to say, but okay, countries, 96 countries. And like so much thanks and appreciation goes your way, because those 2,500 children and 1,200 people have been arrested, or 12,000. Like that is an amazing accomplishment, and we appreciate your work, man. The world needs to have more people like you that are out there trying to help people. So how can my audience, we have a lot of people watching, how can my audience find you and support you? And is it nonprofit donations? What are all the different social media platforms that we can contact with you on?
Yeah, so we have, you can go to our website, which is childrescuecoalition.org, and learn more about us, see the stats and what we're doing to fight to protect children. We definitely encourage people to sign up for our newsletter, which you can do that right on our website. And definitely follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're on LinkedIn as well. But definitely we regularly update our followers on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram about all the cases that we're working on, the new technology that we're developing, and encourage people to support and share the word about the work that we're doing. So we're able to keep this technology free and available to law enforcement because of the community's support. And it's really been amazing. So we definitely want people to share the word and consider donating and supporting our cause to help protect children.
That's awesome. If I will add your email or your social media platforms and everything on the email we send out to all our clients tonight. And so we'll make sure they have that. If I'm sure we already have your logo and stuff like that. So we will also be posting on social media tomorrow with some of the content we have to shout you out and really, really, really appreciate all the efforts you're doing. So are there any last things you want to say to my audience and things that you've been working on?
Yeah, we just, we do appreciate a platform like yours. So people who are interested in financial planning, that supporting nonprofit is part of what you're doing with your money and how it goes, and just to be very thankful for all the support that we've gotten from so many people. And we definitely are just really proud of all the children we've been able to rescue, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the support of the community. So recently, we were able to identify a gymnastics coach and even a youth pastor just recently that was found to be abusing children. And it's what we know is that many times victims don't always speak forward. So we need technology that's identifying these predators and putting a stop to abuse. And we definitely appreciate the community's support in that.
Yeah, that is huge. So for everyone who's watching, I believe in a few things in life, and one of them is always be compounding. One of them is pay yourself first. And there are very few things I talk about that would warrant equal nature of building your best future. And one of them is protecting children. Always be protecting, always be the voice that can stand up and help people. So if you guys can find an extra $10, $20, $50, whatever that number is, and you can donate to this organization, it's a nonprofit. I get nothing from it. I truly believe in this message, and it's something that I personally donate to. And it's the worst offense in the whole world. I said that earlier before you on, that there's nothing worse in my mind than human trafficking and child trafficking. So once again, I thank you for it, and we will be spreading this message for you.
Well, thank you for having me. We really appreciate it.
So, last thing I want to leave with is always be compounding, always be protecting. Find ways to build, embrace all good, help everyone that you can, and we'll make the world a better place. So thank you very much. So.